Hello everyone, welcome to Bosman at Home. Today I'm mopping up all this E3. What a mess. I'm Kyle Bosman, this is my kitchen, and this is the week after E3. It just always feels different. E3, no matter how you feel about E3 always changes things. Everything feels different after E3 has happened. And there's lots to talk about. There's lots to talk about how everything's changed. Oh, this happened. But for today's episode, I don't want to focus on the little butterflies. Right? Everything affects everything. I want to focus on the big boys, the moths, those big wings that create huge hurricanes on the other side of the planet. So yeah, today's episode, my three moths of E3 2016. Moth number one, Microsoft announced Project Scorpio. They did it. At the end of Microsoft's E3 press conference, the grand finale, Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, threw to this video. Bunch of talking heads explaining to us Project Scorpio, the next Xbox One family member, which will be capable of 6 teraflops of processing power. Now, that is a big announcement. The announcement is just that it was announced, basically. Many of us Basement Columbos already knew it was coming, because on one day in May, Kotaku and Polygon both reported in great detail about what this thing would be. And that spread, obviously, to a lot of other outlets. Phil Spencer on that day tweeted this: "Lots of creative chatter today. Excited to share our gaming story at E3 on June 13th. That was all the confirmation we needed. Project Scorpio is going to be at E3, and so is the Neo. So is the PlayStation Neo. Microsoft versus Sony head-to-head at E3. Here we go." Then, days before E3, Andrew House, president and CEO of Sony Sony Interactive Entertainment, has some news for us. What kind of news? First of all, he says that Project Neo, PlayStation Neo, is real. That's the first ever acknowledgement officially from Sony that it exists. That was there. He also said it will not appear at E3. It's not coming. It's not ready. Okay. And so a lot of us assumed, alright, probably the Xbox isn't going to be there either. The Project Scorpio, they don't need to show up, right? But then they did. They brought it in this video of smiling faces with promises and computer-generated computer processors. But coming out of that, yeah, Scorpio's real now. We all have to live in this world where, yes, it's true. All those rumors, if you ever doubted them, if you ever doubted any of those reports from Kotaku and Polygon, they're true. All those things turned out to be real. That creative chatter was not so creative. In fact, it was just facts. What I find most interesting about this announcement, really, since we knew most of it was happening anyway, is the why now. If Project Scorpio is coming out in 2017, why talk about it at this E3? Now, Polygon, in their article back in May, said this: "This was timed to combat expected plans by Sony to announce and launch the Neo in 2017. However, after GDC, evidence industry-wide has indicated that Sony's timetable for the Neo either has accelerated or was always intended for this fall. Because of this and other factors, Microsoft is feeling pressure to announce both its new, smaller Xbox One console and the upgraded Scorpio at this year's E3 or a last-minute event just prior to the LA convention." They always do this. They lay it all out. We should have expected Scorpio to be at E3, to be honest. But I mean, that sets this thing of Microsoft wants to kind of steal some thunder away from the announcement of the PS4K. They had to announce it, otherwise it looks like they have no plans, while the PlayStation Neo is very real. During the press conference, Phil Spencer said this as an explanation for why now.
"And we're announcing Project Scorpio today to give our developers and partners the ability to take advantage of that capability now in order to realize their visions for the future and deliver even more great games for you."
So that didn't ring very true to me at the time. There's an easy way to communicate with your developers and your partners without telling millions of other people at the same time. Kind of think you wanted everyone to know about the Scorpio. Though, to be fair, Kotaku published this article in which we learned that the director of Final Fantasy XV, Hajime Tabata, did not know about Project Scorpio until attending that event. So hey, at least that announcement did educate at least one partner. After E3, Phil Spencer, he does so many interviews. I really do feel bad for how many interviews this human being has to do. He did say, he did kind of clarify, he made up a new reason anyway for the why now, which was that he wanted everybody to know about it. If they're going to go ahead and buy an Xbox One S, they have the right to know that in a year it may become outmoded technology. And I do appreciate that kind of transparency. It's sort of noble in a way. They should tell us. Andrew House didn't do as much as he possibly could have to tell everyone, hey, there's a PlayStation Neo coming. Maybe this year. He kind of just said it in a couple of interviews. I don't know if that's fair. In other interviews after E3, Phil Spencer said so many things he probably shouldn't have said. Told Eurogamer, if you have a 1080p television, don't bother with Project Scorpio. You don't need it. It's not going to be of any use to you. If you have a 1080p TV, you need a 4K to appreciate this thing. Meanwhile, it's actually not required. Developers will not be required to output in 4K with these games. They might output in 1080p with ridiculous frame rates. And so, what are you doing? Do you have VR ready? No, but it is going to be VR capable. We don't have that partnership in place yet. Then why talk about the VR now? I definitely feel like it is announced too soon. The chip says 4K on it. It's gotta be real, right? Meanwhile, Sony, probably time to announce the PlayStation Neo soon. It's not an iPhone. It's not really the type of thing you should say, it's available now, and people will be happy. I don't think it's that kind of thing. I think it's if you're buying a PlayStation 4 now, you will feel burned when that new better one comes out and it's available now. There is a time. I don't know, is it 6 months? 1.5 years too soon? 3 months too late? We'll figure out that balance. These mid-generational leaps, they're just gonna keep coming. We're gonna figure this out. We just need more consoles. We need more consoles, everybody. We gotta do the math. Moth number 2. Nintendo min-maxed E3. If you're not familiar with the term min-max, what that would mean, it comes from RPGs. RPGs in which you would distribute your stats yourself. And a min-maxer, for instance, would say, I don't care about intelligence. I don't care about magic. I'm going all strength, baby. And then, obviously, their attack stat is very high and they break the game. Nintendo did that at E3 this year. Coming into E3, ahead of it, Nintendo said, hey, we're only showing Zelda on that show floor. And I was beside myself. I thought that was the dumbest idea I'd ever heard. Unprecedented. Nintendo would never do that at any other E3. But they decided to do that. And I honestly, after being inside of that booth, one of the most incredible booths I've ever been in my life, Mafia 3, also a great booth, Disneyland status. Playing that game, playing that demo where you just do whatever you want, in this incredible game of The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, I'm now convinced that this was a stroke of genius. Here, let's think of ourselves as Nintendo management. Okay, we're in charge of this business. We're in charge of Nintendo. Coming up this fall, we have no games. We have nothing. And we convince ourselves that's not our fault. It's those pesky developers. They take forever. They drive me nuts. But here, we're left with this table. We're left with this amount of games, and E3 is coming up. What do we do? Now, we could show everything. We could show Pokemon Sun and Moon. We could show Tokyo Mirage Sessions. We could show that stupid Paper Mario game and that stupid Mario Party game. We could show it all. And then people will, rightfully so, call our games boring. And they kind of are in comparison to everything else on that show floor. Or we can min-max. We can min-max this. We can max out our Zelda stat. And it paid off. It paid off in dividends. Basically, Nintendo, against all odds, nobody respects Nintendo in this industry. They came out of E3 with a win. I don't know, they did it. They got positive social media attention, they got positive traditional media attention, they got good buzz. Everyone came there and enjoyed what they had, and it wasn't enough. They put as many demo units of Zelda in that booth as they possibly could, and it still wasn't enough to satiate the hunger for Zelda. People rushing in, I want a free t-shirt. Sorry, you have to go. There's not enough space for all of you, not enough time. That's incredible. they did it. They pulled it off. They did something I didn't think Nintendo could do at E3 with the lineup they had. And so yes, I do have to admit I was very wrong about this, and I do have to admit that I think this was a genius. I think this was the right thing to do, and I admire whoever masterminded this decision. Unless it was Miyamoto. Then I think it was dumb luck. Moth number 3, Sony had the classiest press conference of all time. Now I realize I haven't done the research here, right? I haven't seen every single press conference of all time. There's probably some watch company who had a pretty nice press conference once, or like a crystal Christmas tree factory that put on a pretty fancy press conference at one time. But until I'm proven incorrect, until you can prove me wrong here, I'm sticking to my guns. That was the classiest I've ever seen. Here's how this thing started. 4.5 minutes of a live orchestra playing God of War music no one's ever heard of before. No introduction, they're just going. And then they proceed to play along live with live gameplay demos. I've never seen anything like that. Sony came into this E3 with a lot of expectations, right? Last year, they threw on one of the best press conferences of all time. And, to be honest, a lot of that was just riding off the weight of some incredible announcements, right? Any press conference really would have been great with the things that they had to announce last year. And so this year, they did an interesting thing. They scaled back in time in the amount of games that were shown, but they scaled it up in classiness and presentation. They put on a show. They made this thing an event. 3 human beings spoke in the entirety of this press conference. That is highly unusual. And none of them spoke to us like this.
We all play to live.
Or this.
With over 100 million players on 14 platforms, the Minecraft community is one of the biggest in gaming.
Or this.
Burying it in the top corner like Rooney. Now, I have the chance to make that dream my reality.
Or this.
I hear this El Pozolero guy is supposed to be a hard target.
How bad does it look?
See for yourself.
Or this.
Guys, I don't write the scripts here, I don't do the game.
Or this.
And as we saw with Fallout 4 last year, and you know who you are, they go out quickly. So if you want one, I suggest that you pre-order one before they all go away.
Or this. Or this. Nobody used the press conference voice. That's why I hope everybody was watching. I hope every video game company saw this press conference and said, oh, you can do that? You can. I hope this is the beginning of the end of the press conference voice. The press conference voice is this. I'm excited to announce that each exclusive experience will include DLC content for all of our amazing gamers around the world. Rock on. Thing is, I don't blame those people for talking like that. They're trained to speak like that. Professionals teach you this is how you speak in a press conference. Emphasize each stupid word. It's fine for probably the other things they have to do, but Sony proved you don't have to speak like that in a press conference. Yeah, my hope is that Sony's press conference changes all press conferences forever, but I don't think that all press conferences will be like this. Obviously, again, they had some announcements that really helped it out a lot, right? If you have Hideo Kojima announcing his first new franchise in 15 years, that's going to help your press conference. And yeah, realistically, I don't think every Sony press conference will be like this, right? Whatever they do, Gamescom or Paris Games Week, I suspect that will be a more normal press conference. You can't always have the live orchestra. And yeah, I hope at PSX, Gio Corsi is still wearing a custom hockey jersey. I hope they don't lose that. But I do think this changes things. I think this press conference changes how we can expect to be spoken to by these game publishers, by these companies. Which is to say that they spoke to their audience with respect. And it's crazy that that's a new thing, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of it. And that's the episode for this week. E3, obviously there's so much I could talk about, so many butterflies out there, but yeah, I really wanted to cover those mods. I think those mods are pretty big deals, And I think they may change how E3 is handled in the future, and they're things I'm totally excited about. E3 this year has been very exciting for me personally. I've been to 7 E3s. This has been my favorite, no question. Probably largely in part due to Easy Allies. And so I want to explain what that is. Easy Allies is a group of former Game Trailers employees who have decided to continue to make video game videos and live streams and podcasts just for you, for everybody. And during E3, after every day of E3, we'd go to the floor, we'd play every game we wanted to, and then we would sit down and discuss it for 4 to 5 hours every night. That's all up on YouTube now. It's worth checking out. Definitely also worth checking out patreon.com/easyallies, which is how we subsist, to be frank. That's it. If you're on Twitter, I'm at Kyle Bosman. I'll be back again. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.
Fresh experiences.
For a more robust experience.
First-time experiences.
With new driving experiences.
This experience.
Experience. Experience.
Console experience. Transformative experience. After the experience, and after this experience, to come with experiences.
Experience.
The new Xbox One experience, and you'll experience the best tournaments.
And fantastic experiences, these amazing experiences.
Full-blown multiplayer experience.
To put you into an experience and let you live that experience.
And better game experiences.
We see it as our responsibility to help people on all corners of the globe experience play. Global experience.
VR experiences in your gaming experience.
Just Dance has always been at the forefront of innovation, bringing its experience to new devices.
An extraordinary experience.
It's your own Star Trek experience.
Personal experience.
All new experiences.
Different game experiences.
Experience. Re-experience.
Experience. The Assassin's Creed universe is a cinematic experience.
True single-player experiences.
It's a brand new experience. To experience online experience.
Strategy experience to experience. That experience to experience. Now, the first time anyone experienced modern VR was at E3 2012.
Unique and memorable experience, and it could only be experienced from epic 64-player experiences, a dynamic experience, a range of experience. You will experience destruction, experience this firsthand. We've set out to deliver an epic and unforgettable experience for our players.